Hey Swaggy Swan family, thanks for tuning in today. I have a very highly requested video. This is the how to determine your child's hair porosity video. Finally, I'm going to go over some tests you can use to determine your child's hair porosity, and I'm going to explain hair porosity for you. So let's get started. What is hair porosity? Porosity means how well your hair is able to absorb and retain moisture, holding moisture in the hair. Now, there are three types of porosity: high, normal, and low. Low porosity hair has a tightly bound cuticle that sort of repels water, and it makes the hair a little bit more resistant to absorbing moisture. But once that moisture does make its way in, it receives it and it stays a while. High porosity hair has gaps and holes in the cuticle layer, so moisture is able to get in easy, but it also leaves quickly. Normal porosity usually doesn't have any issues with moisture or product. Now, the test you can do, the first test to test your child's hair porosity is the moisturizing product test. Take a moisturizer, usually cream-based if you can, add it to your child's hair. Now, you can see Savannah's hair, the product is really just laying on her hair. As I try to smooth it in with my hands and kind of rub it through, it still is just like a coating on the top layer of her hair. So based on this moisture test, this kind of means that she has low porosity hair. Now, here's what I want to tell you. There was a point when I thought Savannah had high porosity hair because I only did one test. This is why it's important to do multiple tests to determine it, not just one. And you're going to see why. It's very important because multiple tests are going to show you what is your child's hair more than likely in terms of porosity. One test is not just going to determine that for you. So the more of these that you can do, the better. So with Savannah, the more I work the product in, or if I put product on damp hair, it usually takes better in her hair. But as you can see, with a lot of cream-based products and even sometimes liquid, it kind of just sits on her hair. But once I've worked that product in, like most low porosity hair, it's going to retain that moisturizing product and it'll be in there for a while. It's really greasy, oily. The moisture is locked in and she's good for quite some time during the day. The next test is test number 2. Does the hair or body dry first? So you're going to want to wash your child's hair, and right after their hair has been washed, you're going to want to test. Did their body dry quicker than their hair? In this case, Savannah's body definitely dried quicker than her hair. In fact, Savannah's hair, I can braid it like this after I've washed it, and literally the next day, like in this clip, her hair is still damp. That is usually a sign of low porosity hair. However, if your child's hair dries quicker than the body, or your child's hair tends to dry quickly, that's probably high porosity hair. Next, test number 3. We're going to feel the hair strands of your child's hair. So what do I mean when I say that? So for example, I'm going to take these braids out and voila, we're going to take a strand of the hair, just a small strand here, and you're going to glide your fingers from the end up, smoothing your way up. If you feel ridges or feel hardness, that means usually your child has high porosity hair. In Savannah's case, when I put my fingers up and down, it feels very smooth and just very thin, and there are no ridges, which indicates low porosity hair. Now we have test number 3, the float test, which is the most popular test that most people go by and use. So you're going to get some water, and with clean strands of hair, you're going to take some of your child's hair, so don't hurt them when you're picking this hair off. And you take the hair and you're going to put those strands in a cup of water. Again, it's really important to try to do this on clean hair so that there's no product that has affected the hair. These are the strands that I have here from Savannah's hair, and I'm just going to take them and I'm going to place them on the water. Don't dunk them in, don't dip them in, and don't alter it. Just simply put them at the top, and trust me, within 3 to 5 minutes, or if you're like me, you're going to do probably 10 to 15 minutes, which you can, you will see what porosity your child's hair is. Savannah's hair is staying at the top of the water, which indicates low porosity hair. Her hair has not sunk into the bottom because with low porosity hair, the moisture has a very hard time cutting through the cuticle layer. therefore it sits on top. And with manipulation, yes, it would then have passed through, but as you can see, it sits on top. I placed my hair just now to the right of that. That's what I'm pointing at there, just to show you another example. Now, there was a point in time when my actual hair was more of a high porosity type of hair because it had been processed, damaged, but once I started transitioning and became natural, I do believe that my hair started to turn back to low porosity, in which now it does not allow a lot of moisture in, but once the moisture is in my hair, I can retain it. So as you can see, my hair is still at the top as well. And guys, this is like 10, 15 minutes, even longer into it. The hair is at the top. I know a lot of people ask questions about, well, what if the hair is in the middle? If the hair is in the middle of the water, not like this is still considered the top. If the hair is in the middle of the water, then that indicates you have normal porosity hair. Therefore, your child has normal porosity hair if the hair stays in the middle of the water. If it goes to the bottom, that is high porosity. And trust me, you'll know because that hair will sink. Now, once you know your child's hair porosity, this is the best part. You can go to the textured hair care section or hair care section of your choice in your favorite store to buy hair care products. And you can now go knowing, what do I need to look for when I'm shopping for hair care products for my child? Because let's be real, there's so many different options. It can be overwhelming, confusing, and most importantly, it can be really expensive if you're buying products only to find it does absolutely nothing for your child's hair. So I get it. So determining their hair porosity is really important, and it's especially important because it's going to tell you, how does protein react in your child's hair? This is a really big indicator and very helpful in you taking the time to figure out which product's going to work well in their hair or not. It's the protein element. If you're someone who just feels overwhelmed and you want to go the easy route, there's nothing wrong with that. A great brand is Shea Moisture. Shea Moisture specifically labels their stuff as high porosity products or low porosity products. Here's an example here. This is in a local Target store of mine where they have the Shea Moisture high porosity and low porosity products available. It shows you what it doesn't have in it. It also, if you read the ingredients and begin to understand, you'll see which ingredients work for high porosity hair. So you can use this as a guide. If you pay attention to what ingredients are mostly in these, if you want to search other brands, turn to the ingredients section of other brands and see the similarities to get an idea of what else would be considered high porosity products, and same thing for low porosity. Look at the back of their low porosity products ingredients and then use that as a guideline. Take a picture if you have to, and when you're searching for other brands, get to see if there's similarities and what it does and doesn't have, and that's how you'll know if that's also a great product possibly for low porosity hair. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the easiest way to do it if you feel very overwhelmed. But spend some time in this section. There's like 1,000 options, and for a reason. But they are pricey in some cases, and this stuff adds up. So it's in your benefit to understand the porosity, then understand how protein will react in your child's hair. And a common misconception is that if your child or you have low porosity hair, that you're not a fan of protein. While you can see it says protein free on this low porosity product, yes, that's wonderful, but you can incorporate protein, but safely and in moderation. Low porosity hair, the type of protein it likes is silk, wheat, or hydrolyzed, so you can look for those ingredients on the back of products. If it has those, you can use those products. Use them minimally. That's a good indicator. Low porosity hair also likes heat with deep conditioners, so it's okay to get a deep conditioner. Just try to use it with a heating cap. You can also try lighter oils and hair milks, but again, read the ingredients to make sure it agrees with the low porosity hair. Now for high porosity hair likes protein, deep conditioning, and heavier products. High porosity hair also really likes protein treatments, and you can do the heavier protein treatments and more frequent ones on high porosity hair. So for example, you can do a heavy protein treatment once a month and then lighter in between ones, every other week if you choose to during that same month, and the hair will be okay. Unlike low porosity hair, which if you're doing it that frequently, you can get protein overload, which is basically the hair starts to feel really stiff and it just does not react well. So Swaggy Swan family, I hope this video was super informative and that you now know how to test your child's hair porosity. And with that information, you'll be able to create a hair care routine that makes sense for their hair and buy products confidently understanding which products will work in their hair. And don't worry, it doesn't mean you have to stop rice water routines, aloe vera treatments, or any of those things. It just means you now know in what moderation you can use them based on your child's porosity. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Visit us on Instagram to comment. We love you so much. Take care, and don't forget, God loves you too.